Priscilla Presley just unveiled the shocking truth about her life with Elvis, revealing secrets that no one could have predicted. Imagine Elvis nearly canceling their wedding, or his deep anxieties about becoming a father. Priscilla shares intimate details about their relationship, including the surprising and painful realities that led to their separation. And here's the kicker: what really went down in the final years of their marriage and why Elvis struggled with the idea of settling down. Get ready for the untold story of the king of rock and roll. Early life. Elvis Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi. He was the surviving twin. His brother, Jesse Garon, was stillborn. Elvis grew up in a close-knit family, with a deep bond with his parents, especially his mother, Gladys. He found his love for music through the Assembly of God church they attended. Elvis's early life was marked by financial struggles. His father, Vernon, had difficulty finding stable employment, leading the family to rely on assistance from neighbors and the government. They even lost their home in 1938 after Vernon was jailed for altering a check. Despite these hardships, Elvis's passion for music flourished. He made his first public appearance at age 10, singing "Old Shep" at a local fair. Shortly after, he received his first guitar and began teaching himself to play with the help of his uncles and a pastor. However, he was initially too shy to sing in public. As Elvis entered 6th grade, he was considered an average student by his teachers. Nevertheless, he continued to sing and play guitar at school, facing ridicule from classmates who dismissed his musical style as hillbilly. In September 1946, Elvis Presley started 6th grade at Milam School. This marked the beginning of his journey of sharing his musical talent with others. In the following year, he started singing and playing his guitar at school events. Despite being mocked for his choice of music, Elvis's love for hillbilly music continued to grow. One of Elvis's musical heroes was Mississippi Slim, whose radio show he eagerly listened to. Fate smiled upon young Elvis when Slim himself offered him guidance and taught him valuable chord techniques. At the tender age of 12, Elvis was scheduled to perform on Slim's radio show not once, but twice. While stage fright got the better of him during the first attempt, Elvis bravely overcame his nerves and successfully performed the second time, showcasing his talent to a wider audience. Early musical influences. In November 1948, a significant turning point in Elvis's life occurred when his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. He enrolled at L.C. Humes High School, where his musical journey continued, albeit with some setbacks. Despite receiving a discouraging C grade in music and being told he lacked singing talent, Elvis defied his teacher's assessment. He surprised everyone by performing a popular hit, "Keep Them Cold, Icy Fingers Off Me," with his guitar, proving his vocal abilities. However, shyness and occasional bullying for being a mama's boy still held him back from performing openly. In 1950, Elvis's musical collaborations began to take shape. He started practicing guitar with his neighbor, Lee Denson, and formed a loose musical group with 3 other boys, including future rockabilly pioneers Dorsey and Johnny Burnett. These early collaborations allowed Elvis to hone his skills and experiment with different musical styles. During his junior year, Elvis's unique sense of style started to emerge. He embraced distinctive sideburns and styled hair, setting him apart from his classmates. This marked the beginning of his iconic image, which would later become synonymous with rock and roll. Elvis Presley's fascination with music extended beyond his school performances. He would often visit Beale Street, the vibrant hub of Memphis's blues scene, where he admired the flamboyant clothing at Lansky Brothers, a store he would later frequent for his own iconic outfits. By his senior year, Elvis had gained enough confidence to compete in Humes's annual minstrel show in 1953. His rendition of "Till I Waltz Again With You," a popular song by Teresa Brewer, marked a turning point in his reputation. Elvis's performance in the talent show transformed him from an average student to a popular figure. He later recalled how he went from being unpopular and failing music class to gaining recognition for his singing abilities. The experience boosted his confidence and further fueled his passion for music. First, recordings. Although Elvis Elvis couldn't read music, his natural talent allowed him to play by ear. He spent countless hours in record stores, immersing himself in the sounds of his idols like Hank Snow, Roy Acuff, and Ernest Tubb. He was particularly drawn to the soulful ballads of Southern gospel singer Jake Hess, whose style he sought to emulate. Elvis was also a regular attendee of the all-night singings in downtown Memphis, where he was captivated by the harmonies of white gospel groups influenced by African-American spirituals. He tuned into local radio stations like WDIA, absorbing the sounds of race records that featured spirituals, blues, and rhythm and blues. Like some of his friends, he may have even ventured into blues venues on nights designated for white audiences, further broadening his musical influences. Many of Elvis's future hits drew inspiration from the African-American musicians he admired, such as Arthur Crudup and Rufus Thomas. B.B. King, the legendary blues guitarist, even recalled knowing Elvis before he achieved fame, as they both frequented Beale Street. By the time Elvis graduated high school in June 1953, he knew that music was his calling. In August of that year, he made a pivotal decision by walking into Memphis Recording Service, the studio owned by Sam Phillips, who would later establish Sun Records. Elvis's intention was to record a two-sided acetate disc featuring My Happiness and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. This recording was likely intended as a birthday gift for his mother, or simply as a way for Elvis to hear his own voice on a record. This seemingly insignificant act would mark the beginning of Elvis Presley's extraordinary journey into the world of music. In August 1953, Elvis Presley walked into Memphis Recording Service, not just to record a song, but with a bigger dream in mind. Biographer Peter Guralnick suggests that Elvis hoped to be discovered by Sam Phillips, the owner of the studio. Elvis's ambition led him to return to Sun Records in January 1954 to record two more songs, I'll Never Stand in Your Way and It Wouldn't Be the Same Without You. Despite his efforts, nothing seemed to happen immediately. Elvis faced further setbacks with failed auditions for the local vocal quartet, the Songfellows, and Eddie Bond's band. However, Sam Phillips had not forgotten about Elvis. Phillips had a vision to introduce the raw talent of black musicians to a wider audience. In June 1954, he came across a demo of Jimmy Sweeney's ballad Without You and thought it might be a good fit for Elvis. Although Elvis struggled with the song, Phillips recognized his unique potential and invited guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black to join Elvis for a recording session on July 5, 1954. The session was initially unproductive until Elvis spontaneously burst into Arthur Crudup's blues hit, That's All Right. Moore and Black joined in, and Phillips, recognizing the magic unfolding before him, started recording. This was the sound he had been searching for, a fusion of blues, country, and gospel that would later be known as rockabilly. 3 days later, Memphis disc jockey Dewey Phillips played Elvis's cover of That's All Right on his radio show, and the response was phenomenal. Listeners flooded the station with calls, captivated by Elvis's unique voice and style. Dewey Phillips even interviewed Elvis on air, asking about his high school to clarify his race for the many callers who assumed he was black. The trio continued recording, adding a distinctive echo effect called slapback to Bill Monroe's Blue Moon of Kentucky. This track, paired with That's All Right, became Elvis's first single. With That's All Right on the A-side and Blue Moon of Kentucky on the B-side, the single captured Elvis's unique blend of musical genres and marked the beginning of his meteoric rise to fame. As Elvis's music reached a wider audience, his popularity soared, breaking down racial barriers and challenging musical norms. His electrifying performances and charismatic personality captivated audiences, and he quickly became known as the King of Rock and Roll. This title would not only define his career, but also revolutionize the music industry and leave an enduring legacy for generations to come. Elvis Presley's meteoric rise to fame began in 1954 when he recorded his first single, That's All Right, at Sun Records in Memphis. The song's success propelled him into the local spotlight, and he quickly became a regional sensation. He started performing on the local television show, The Louisiana Hayride, and eventually secured a recording contract with RCA Victor. In 1956, Elvis's debut album, aptly titled Elvis Presley, took the music world by storm. The album included chart-topping hits like Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog, solidifying his status as the undisputed king of rock and roll. His music, a unique blend of rock and roll, country, and R&B, resonated with a broad audience, transcending musical boundaries. Elvis's live performances were legendary. His electrifying stage presence, captivating charisma, and signature dance moves, including the iconic Elvis Presley dance, drew massive crowds. He embarked on nationwide tours, performing in various venues. From concert halls and theaters to television appearances, his performances were not just concerts, they were cultural events that redefined live entertainment. That same year, Elvis expanded his career into acting, making his debut in the Civil War Western Love Me Tender. His dedication to the craft was evident as he committed the entire script to memory before filming began. The film was a commercial success, opening doors for Elvis to star in a series of other movies, including Jailhouse Rock and King Creole. While Elvis enjoyed success in acting, his film career was not without its challenges. Some of his movies, like Jailhouse Rock, were critically acclaimed and beloved by audiences, while others, like Stay Away Joe, were met with less enthusiasm. Over time, Elvis grew disillusioned with the formulaic and often low-quality films he was making. He yearned for more substantial roles and creative control over his projects, military service, and personal tragedy. As Elvis's music and movie career soared, he received a draft notice in 1958, a pivotal moment that would temporarily interrupt his skyrocketing fame and introduce a new chapter in his life. On March 24, 1958, Elvis Presley was inducted into the United States Army at Fort Chaffee in Arkansas. The scene was one of immense fanfare, with throngs of fans and photographers eager to witness the king of rock and roll in his military attire. Elvis, ever the charmer, declared his willingness to serve his country without seeking special treatment. From March 28 to September 17, 1958, Elvis underwent rigorous basic and advanced training at Fort Hood, Texas. He was assigned to Company A, 2D Medium Tank Battalion, 37th Armor, embracing his role as a soldier. During a brief 2-week leave in early June, he managed to squeeze in a recording session in Nashville, demonstrating his unwavering dedication to music. However, tragedy struck in early August when Elvis's beloved mother, Gladys, fell ill with hepatitis. Elvis was granted emergency leave and rushed back to Memphis on August 12th, but his mother passed away from heart failure just 2 days later at the age of 46. The loss of his mother, with whom he shared an incredibly close bond, shattered Elvis. Their connection had been characterized by deep affection and tenderness, even into adulthood. Elvis's world was irrevocably changed by this devastating loss. Despite the immense grief, Elvis's military journey continued. On October 1st, 1958, he was assigned to the 1st Medium Tank Battalion, 32nd Armor, 3D Armored Division, stationed at Ray Barracks in West Germany. He served as an intelligence specialist in armor, utilizing his skills to contribute to his unit's operation. Elvis's military service was a transformative period in his life. It exposed him to new experiences, broadened his perspective, and tested his resilience. Despite the personal tragedy he endured, he remained committed to his duties as a soldier, proving that he was not just a rock and roll icon, but also a dedicated serviceman. Elvis Presley's time in the Army was marked by dedication and hard work, earning him promotions to Private First Class on November 27, 1958, and Specialist Fourth Class on June 1, 1959. This dedication extended beyond his military duties. During his service, Elvis was introduced to amphetamines, which he embraced for their energy-boosting and weight loss properties. He also developed a passion for karate, training diligently with Jürgen Seidel, and later incorporating karate moves into his iconic stage performances. Despite his immense fame, Elvis strove to be treated like any other soldier. He earned the respect and admiration of his fellow servicemen through his kindness and generosity. Elvis donated his army pay to charity, purchased television sets for the base, and even bought extra fatigues for his entire unit, demonstrating his commitment to his comrades. On March 5, 1960, Elvis was honorably discharged discharged from the U.S. Army, having served his country with distinction. His military service had a profound impact on his life, instilling in him a strong sense of discipline and responsibility. Despite facing personal struggles, including the loss of his mother and his growing dependence on barbiturates and stimulants, Elvis persevered and emerged from his military service with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. It was during his time in Germany that Elvis's life took another unexpected turn when he met his future wife, Priscilla Presley. Their encounter marked the beginning of a passionate and tumultuous relationship that would captivate the world. Relationship with Priscilla. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was smitten upon meeting the captivating 14-year-old Priscilla Presley in 1959. Fresh from his military service, Elvis was introduced to Priscilla at his home by a mutual friend. Priscilla was immediately struck by Elvis's charm and youthful appearance, finding him even more attractive than his on-screen persona. Despite their age difference, Elvis was drawn to Priscilla's poise and grace. He serenaded her with two heartfelt songs, Rags to Riches and Are You Lonesome Tonight? Priscilla, coyly admitting her attraction to Elvis, noticed how he sang with even more passion when she played Hard to Get. The spark between them ignited a fiery and passionate love affair that would become the stuff of legends. Their romance was filled with tender moments and affectionate gestures. Priscilla's first kiss with Elvis was a cherished memory, a testament to the intensity of their feelings. Elvis, in turn, won over Priscilla's parents with his charm and genuine promises to look after their daughter. Despite the 10-year age gap, Elvis and Priscilla fell deeply in love. Their nightly rituals became a comforting routine. Priscilla would dress up to impress, and Elvis would take her out for evenings filled with laughter, music, and dancing. As the night progressed, they would retreat to Elvis's bedroom, where their love deepened with each passionate kiss. The intensity of Elvis and Priscilla's love was undeniable, yet their physical relationship remained unconsummated until their wedding day in 1967. This decision, a testament to Elvis's respect for Priscilla and their deep emotional connection, set their relationship apart in a time of changing social norms. Priscilla fondly recalled their special bond, a connection that transcended physical intimacy. Their love story faced a significant hurdle when Elvis had to return to America after completing his military service in Germany. On March 2, 1960, they shared a poignant last night together, filled with uncertainty and longing. Priscilla vividly remembers feeling completely lost after Elvis's departure, unable to eat or sleep due to the pain of separation. The media frenzy surrounding her only exacerbated her distress as reporters and photographers hounded her relentlessly. 21 days after Elvis left, he called Priscilla at 3 a.m., expressing his affection and concern for her well-being. He continued to call her every 3 weeks, sharing stories about his life, movies, and co-stars, keeping their connection alive despite the distance. In 1962, Priscilla, determined to be with Elvis, convinced her parents to let her visit him in Los Angeles. She meticulously crafted daily itineraries and promised to write home regularly to appease their concerns. To avoid a confrontation with his ex-girlfriend, Anita Wood, Elvis arranged for Priscilla to stay at a friend's house on the first night. The following day, they embarked on a whirlwind trip to Las Vegas, where they indulged in a nocturnal lifestyle of shows, gambling, and late-night revelry. Elvis introduced Priscilla to amphetamines and sleeping pills to help her keep up with his energetic pace. Despite initial reservations, Priscilla succumbed to the allure of the pills, driven by her desire to be with Elvis and share his experiences. To maintain the illusion of compliance with her parents' rules, Priscilla sent pre-written letters home, carefully crafting a narrative that hid the true nature of her life with Elvis. For 2 weeks, they lived in a world of excitement and excess, their days filled with sleep and their nights filled with adventure. Elvis and Priscilla's relationship continued to deepen as she spent Christmas with him at Graceland in December 1962. However, when she moved to Memphis to be closer to him, she initially struggled to adjust to life with Elvis's parents. Instead, she found solace and companionship with Elvis's grandmother, gradually transferring her belongings to Graceland without Elvis even noticing. By the time Elvis suggested she move in, Priscilla was already settled in. marriage life. In December 1966, Elvis surprised Priscilla with a romantic proposal, presenting her with a 3.5-carat diamond ring while on bended knee. The gesture took Priscilla by surprise, and she was overjoyed to accept his proposal. Their love had blossomed into a commitment, and they were ready to embark on a new chapter together. Their wedding, held on May 1, 1967, in Las Vegas, was a whirlwind affair lasting only 8 minutes. It was followed by a luxurious honeymoon in Palm Springs, where the newlyweds reveled in their love and newfound happiness. Priscilla embraced her role as a wife, finding joy in caring for and pampering her husband. Their connection was so deep that they even developed their own special language, a form of baby talk that only they understood. However, just 7 months into their marriage, Elvis dropped a bombshell on Priscilla. He wanted a trial separation. This revelation came as a shock to Priscilla, who was 7 months pregnant at the time. Elvis explained that he needed space to think and that things weren't working out, but assured her that she had done nothing wrong. He was simply grappling with his own doubts and uncertainties. The news of a trial separation was devastating for Priscilla. It left her feeling heartbroken and uncertain about the future of their marriage. Elvis's desire for space, coupled with his own internal struggles, cast a shadow over their seemingly perfect love story. In hindsight, Priscilla recognized that Elvis's desire for a trial separation stemmed from his anxieties about fatherhood and its potential impact on his public image. The idea of becoming a father, especially in the public eye, raised questions and doubts for Elvis. Would his fans accept him as a dad? Would they remain loyal? These uncertainties strained their relationship, leading to a temporary separation. The separation, though unspoken and never discussed again, lasted until the birth of their daughter, Lisa Marie. In February 1968, Priscilla went into labor, and a frantic phone call to her mother in New Jersey prompted them to rush to the hospital. After a brief mix-up with the wrong hospital, they finally arrived just in time for Lisa Marie's birth at 5:01 p.m. Elvis was overjoyed, showering Priscilla with kisses and marveling at their perfectly normal, healthy baby. He was smitten with his daughter and couldn't believe he had played a part in creating such a beautiful child. For Priscilla, witnessing Elvis in his role as a doting father was a revelation. She saw a side of him that was unguarded and vulnerable, far removed from the persona of the superstar Elvis Presley. The birth of their daughter brought a brief period of happiness and unity for the couple. Elvis's love for Lisa Marie was evident, and he reveled in the joys of fatherhood. However, their marital bliss would soon be overshadowed by the challenges that lay ahead. As time went on, the once passionate love between Elvis and Priscilla began to fade. Infidelity on both sides, coupled with the pressures of fame and Elvis's demanding lifestyle, took a toll on their relationship. Their marriage, once a symbol of love and devotion, gradually deteriorated, ultimately leading to divorce. In the aftermath of Lisa Marie's birth, Elvis and Priscilla's relationship faced new hurdles. Priscilla felt rejected when Elvis expressed little interest in resuming their physical intimacy, citing her need to recover. However, Priscilla later revealed in her book, Elvis and Me, that Elvis had a pattern of avoiding relationships with women who had children. This revelation shed light on a deeper issue within their marriage. Despite their initial difficulties, Elvis continued to engage in extramarital affairs throughout their marriage. Priscilla, feeling neglected and unfulfilled, eventually sought solace in the arms of her karate instructor, Mike Stone, in the early 1970s. The emotional distance between Elvis and Priscilla grew, ultimately leading her to decide to leave him in 1972, citing his persistent infidelity. She confessed, "I didn't want to share him anymore," highlighting the toll that his unfaithfulness had taken on their relationship. In a 2018 interview, Priscilla reflected on their crumbling marriage, acknowledging that they had separate lives and that change seemed impossible. Her words painted a poignant picture of a love that had slowly faded away, replaced by distance and disillusionment. Elvis's friend, Mae Boren Axton, revealed that Priscilla's departure was a devastating blow to Elvis, shattering his pride and ego. The divorce papers, dated August 15, 1972, confirmed that they had been living apart since February 23, 1972, and outlined the division of their assets. Priscilla received a generous settlement, including luxury vehicles, a share of their property income, and a substantial lump sum payment, as well as monthly alimony for a decade. Despite the legal separation, Elvis and Priscilla remained surprisingly close. They maintained a loving and supportive co-parenting relationship for the sake of their daughter, Lisa Marie. Priscilla shared that they would often refer to each other by name when discussing Lisa, indicating the enduring connection and respect between them. The final years and legacy. Despite the end of their marriage, Elvis and Priscilla maintained a close and affectionate bond. They continued to share their lives and thoughts, almost as if they were still a couple. Guitarist Charlie Hodge, a close friend of Elvis, observed their dynamic and described them as being like two high school sweethearts, still sharing their dreams and aspirations with each other. Sadly, Elvis's life came to a tragic end on August 16, 1977, at the young age of 42. While the official cause of death was listed as cardiac arrhythmia, a heart condition worsened by years of prescription drug abuse, the full story of his demise is much more complex and heartbreaking. Elvis's descent into addiction started in the early 1960s when he was prescribed amphetamines to maintain his energetic stage performances and barbiturates to help him sleep. Over time, his reliance on these substances grew, and he began using narcotics like codeine and Demerol to manage chronic pain and insomnia. In the final years of his life, Elvis's substance abuse spiraled out of control. He consumed vast quantities of sedatives, stimulants, and painkillers, often combined with non-prescribed drugs like quaaludes and amphetamines. This toxic cocktail wreaked havoc on his body, leading to chronic constipation, significant weight gain, dangerously high blood pressure, and a host of other health problems. On the day of his death, Elvis was found unconscious in his bathroom by his girlfriend, Ginger Alden. He had spent the night indulging in a combination of prescription drugs and a high-fat, high-cholesterol meal. The coroner's report concluded that his death resulted from a lethal combination of substance abuse and pre-existing health conditions. In the years since his passing, Elvis's loved ones have bravely shared their accounts of his struggles with addiction. Their testimonies offer a glimpse into the dark side of his life, revealing the devastating toll that substance abuse took on his health and well-being. Elvis Presley's tragic death in 1977 left the music world in mourning, and the debate about the circumstances surrounding his passing continues to this day. While the official cause of death was attributed to a heart condition exacerbated by years of prescription drug abuse, it is clear that Elvis's addiction played a significant role in his untimely demise. Amidst the grief and speculation, a startling revelation emerged from an unexpected source: Vernon Presley, Elvis's father. In a 1978 article for Good Housekeeping, Vernon offered a unique perspective on his son's relationships, shedding light on the real reason behind Elvis's divorce from Priscilla. Vernon emphasized that he and Elvis's mother, Gladys, never tried to influence their son's choice of a bride, just as they didn't interfere with his career choices. They only wanted him to be happy with whoever he chose to marry. Vernon described Priscilla as a tender and caring girl who was also disciplined and strong-minded. She had moved to Memphis to finish high school in the early 1960s, while Elvis was serving in the army in Germany. However, Vernon believed that Elvis's marriage to Priscilla ultimately failed because he realized, after the wedding, that he wasn't truly ready for marriage. He also acknowledged the strain caused by their frequent separations due to Elvis's demanding touring schedule, especially after the birth of their daughter, Lisa Marie. Despite the challenges in their marriage, Vernon noted that Elvis adored his daughter, and she, in turn, adored her father. This deep bond between father and daughter was a source of joy and comfort for Elvis, even as his marriage crumbled. Vernon's revelation offers a glimpse into the complexities of Elvis's personal life and the factors that contributed to the breakdown of his marriage. It suggests that Elvis, despite his immense fame and success, struggled with the commitment and responsibilities of marriage. His desire for freedom and independence, coupled with the pressures of his career, ultimately led to the end of his relationship with Priscilla. Vernon Presley, in his 1978 article, also shared insights into Elvis's relationships with other women in the later years of his life. He acknowledged that Elvis had several relationships after his divorce from Priscilla, but he believed that Linda Thompson was the best for him. He described her as caring and always present for Elvis, but speculated that Elvis might have felt overwhelmed by her love, leading to their eventual breakup. Vernon also mentioned Sheila Ryan, describing her as another fine little girl. However, it was Ginger Alden who captured Elvis's heart in a significant way. Elvis had fallen deeply in love with Ginger and expressed his desire to marry her and have more children, specifically a son. Vernon recounted a conversation with Elvis shortly before his death, where he asked about Elvis's plans to announce his engagement to Ginger. Elvis's cryptic response, "Only God knows," led Vernon to believe that Elvis might have been having second thoughts about marriage. The article also addressed the fact that neither Priscilla nor Ginger was mentioned in Elvis's will. Vernon explained that Ginger had already received numerous gifts from Elvis during their relationship, and Priscilla had received a substantial settlement during their divorce, so neither expected to be included in the will. Vernon's insights into Elvis's relationships with women offer a glimpse into the complex emotional landscape of the king of rock and roll. It reveals that even with his immense fame and fortune, Elvis struggled with love, commitment, and the pressures of his public image. Priscilla's reflections. While Linda Thompson was seen as a caring and devoted partner, Elvis's fear of being choked by her love suggests a deeper struggle with intimacy and vulnerability. His relationship with Ginger Alden, filled with dreams of marriage and children, ultimately remained unfulfilled due to his untimely death. Years after Elvis's passing, Priscilla Presley expressed her wish to be laid to rest alongside her daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, and her former husband, Elvis, at Graceland. This request, however, was denied during settlement talks regarding Lisa Marie's trust. Despite this, Priscilla reaffirmed her family's desire to be buried together when the time comes, expressing that it was their collective wish. In a poignant moment at the 2023 Venice Film Festival, Priscilla shared insights into her unique relationship with Elvis. She emphasized that their connection was not primarily based on physical intimacy, contrary to what many might assume. Instead, it was founded on a deep emotional understanding and mutual respect. Priscilla recounted her early years with Elvis when she was just 14 years old. She explained that Elvis was kind, soft, and loving towards her, respecting her age and innocence. Their bond was forged through shared experiences and conversations, with Elvis confiding in her about his fears, hopes, and the profound loss of his mother, a trauma he never truly overcame. Priscilla became a trusted confidant, offering comfort and understanding during Elvis's most vulnerable moments. Priscilla also shed light on her parents' initial confusion about Elvis's attraction to her. She believed that their connection stemmed from her ability to listen attentively and provide emotional support. Elvis found solace in sharing his thoughts and feelings with Priscilla, who offered a safe space for him to express his vulnerabilities. This unique dynamic between Elvis and Priscilla, built on emotional intimacy and mutual understanding, transcended the typical boundaries of age and fame. It was a connection that defied expectations and became the foundation for a love story that captivated the world.